right, hi everybody. We are back yet again with our 5 minute lesson of the week. All right. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying this series. Hopefully, you guys have been applying some of these teachings and you were seeing some positive results. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. This week, I received a comment asking about church band tips, things that make your church band better. All right. Some of the stuff I'll go over today kind of coincides with what I talked about last week towards the end. So if you want to go back and check out that video, please do so. And then you can check out this video as well. All right, so let's get started. There are three things that will make your church band better. That is listening, that is shedding, and that is kind of the MD knowing some things and being able to delegate some things. All right, so let's get started. So listening. What should you be listening to? Let's start with some live arrangements. All right, live arrangements are some of the sickest stuff out there, man. It's something I enjoy watching a lot. It's where musicians take a song as you know it, and they kind of put a different musical arrangement to it. And it's some of the most creative, experimental, but just killing stuff you ever come across. All right, listen to some of that stuff. See what you can incorporate. Seeing what kind of hits, some kind of intros, some kind of outros, transition materials that you can apply to some of the songs you guys do in praise and worship. Okay, it's my philosophy that you should be experiencing something unique in every church. It shouldn't be carbon copy of every church that you go to. All right, so if I go to your church, I should experience something different that I don't get at the church across the street or at my own church. Okay, so that applies to the worship area as well. Your praise team, your band, something different. So pick up some ideas from that kind of stuff. You can check out stuff like Nerdy Tunes, Fifth Flow, Red Camp. There's stuff out there, man. Check it out and see what you like, see what you can incorporate, and try to figure that stuff out and apply it to what you guys do. I guarantee you it's going to take your church band experience, your church musical experience to a completely new level. All right. Another thing you listen to is just other bands in general, right? It doesn't have to always be live arrangements, but check out some of the pros. Check out some other bands. You can check out, like I'm a keys player mainly, so I check out cats like, Javad Day, the Mike Burrells, the Glenn Gibsons, the Joseph Pryors. Check that stuff out. See how they do their everyday worship. Cameron Sankey, his stuff is out there. Check it out. It's stuff out there. And you can see how they do it, how they approach it, how they play, what sounds they use. Check out some drummers, Nick Smith, Mike Harris, some of these other people. See what kind of grooves they put over songs. J. Rod Sullivan and some of the stuff they do. And just see how they approach it and see what you can incorporate to your own playing to take, your church group to another level, to add a different element, a different layer, a different nuance to what you guys are doing. Okay? And the last thing you guys can listen to are other genres of music. It is also my philosophy that the gospel music gospel music in general should be the melting pot of everything that's out there. Yes, it's a slightly different feel when you get into gospel music, but again, if we are to reach souls, all souls, we have to be open to branching out into other genres. So branch out and look at what's in the pop world, look what's in the hip hop world, look at what's in jazz and classical and heavy metal and rock and all that kind of stuff, and see what kind of elements, not that you're taking their music and just putting it over Lord You Are Good or something like that, but see what kind of elements make up that music and see what you can apply, see what kind of chords, see what kind of styles, what kind of distortion and effects they use, what kind of delay and all that kind of stuff, and see what you can apply to certain things, what kind of harmonies they like to do. Country music has some of the most killing harmonies and stuff that you can apply, different kind of feel, check it out. Check it out and see what you can apply and just add a different element to your band, add a different experience to the worship culture at your church. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is shedding. Shedding. A lot of times shedding gets a negative connotation because you think, oh, okay, we just want to come and see who got the best chops, who can play the fastest, who got the sickest chords. No, that's not all it is. That stuff does happen a lot, but that's not all it is. All right, play together. That's the purpose of shedding, just playing together. So see how each other plays, really feel off of each other, and so that your band can be as locked as possible. Oftentimes, I see people, and I teach on this sometimes when I'm working with bands, the difference between playing at the same time and playing together. It's a difference. Sometimes I see bands where the musicians are just playing at the same time. They're playing, oh, we're playing Lord You Are Good, and I'm gonna play, my little bass part, and I'm gonna play my little keyboard part or whatever. We're just gonna play the song at the same time. Versus when the band is really locked in and playing together, and you see certain musical moments happen, certain hits and accents that they just pick up on without even looking at each other. Nobody's calling it out, but it's because they play together so much and they spend that time grooving together and just coming up with certain stuff to where they are really locked and they're playing together. And you can tell the difference. It's there. All right. So spend time shedding, whether it's during service, during offering time. Pay attention, to what's going on before rehearsal, after church services. Just spend some time, 10, 15 minutes playing together and just seeing what happens. You're going to see your band begin to gel and become more locked, and it'll show. It'll show. It'll show on concerts. It'll show during praise and worship. It'll show during those prophetic moments, worship moments. It'll show that the band is really locked and playing together, and you'll see what happens when everybody's on one accord. All right. Last thing I'm going to talk about is your ND. All right, if you're the MD or if you know your MD, man, it is so important to know theory and know about the instruments that you're dealing with. Know some arrangement tips. All right, it goes beyond the music. All right, so if you're trying to convey an idea, know that it's a major chord. Know that it has a rootless voicing versus a rooted voicing. Okay, know the difference between major and minor, dominant, augmented, diminished. Know this stuff. Know the difference between a major scale and a minor scale, a pentatonic scale. Know that kind of stuff. That's going to help you convey ideas much quicker. When you're dealing with instruments, know their makeup and know the terminology to use. So that way, if you're trying to hear a groove and convey a groove, you can be able to tell the drummer, hey, switch to the ride right here. Open up your hi-hat. Hit the 12 for me. Okay, do something off the floor time. That stuff helps. It helps convey that idea much, much more quickly. Okay, it's much more efficient. Tell the guitar player, use an open voicing versus a bar chord. Being able to tell the bass player, use a thumb pluck or a slap instead of just plucking, or I want this kind of a sound. What is this? Be able to say, yeah, slap or a thumb pluck or go into your higher register. No, take it an octave up. Know that kind of stuff. That's going to help. That's going to help. All right. That's all I have. Sorry, I went a little bit long this week, but hopefully everything made sense. Hopefully you can start applying these tips to your band and start making a much more creative, unique experience for your church service. All right. I will see you all next Monday.